Hello, dear students of Level 2. This is Dr. Maha Salam, and this is our course, Academic Writing 1, code number EN205. In our course, we have already discussed in our class lectures how to write a coherent paragraph with a topic sentence, a number of supporting sentences, and a conclusion. And we have also already discussed how to write a short essay with an introduction, an introductory paragraph, one introductory paragraph, and then one or two body paragraphs, and one conclusion paragraph. Today, we will be talking about a special type of short essay, which is the descriptive essay. Now, what do we mean by descriptive essay? In this type of essay, the descriptive essay, you describe a person, a place, or any object. For example, maybe you are describing your sister or a friend or a colleague or a famous person. This would be a descriptive essay. Or maybe you are describing a place like your bedroom or the town you live in or a place you have once visited. And again, maybe you are describing any other thing. You have a pet cat or a pet dog, or you love a certain portrait and you have it hung on the door of your room, or you are describing even a cake or a pizza that you have enjoyed eating. Any of these types, since you are describing a person, a place, or an object, this would be a descriptive essay. And the most important point about descriptive essays is that you must use details, not just general descriptions, but details in order to tell and even to show the person, the place, the object, what it looks like. To show what it looks like, or what it sounds like, or what it smells like, or tastes like, or feels like. All our senses can be used. Maybe you will say that this piece of cloth is very soft. It is as soft as cotton wool, or such and such a food item tastes delicious, or it has a sweet smell, or it sounds musical, or it sounds terrible, or it looks so on. So you must be using details. This is like the major feature in descriptive essays. Now, what about the structure of the descriptive essay? Again, like the essay that we have already discussed in our class lectures, the short essay in general, a descriptive essay is divided into three parts. We have one introduction paragraph, and the first sentence of this introduction paragraph is called the topic sentence. It introduces the topic, and you should be using a way that catches the reader's attention. You want the reader to go on reading your essay. So your first sentence must be catchy. Sometimes we even call it a hook, as if you are hooking the reader and wanting to capture the attention of the reader so that he or she will go on reading your essay. Now, after the first sentence or the topic sentence of the introduction, we have a number of middle sentences. They can be 2 or 3 or 4. They don't have a specific number, and they are supposed to provide the background about the person you are describing, or the place, or the object, whatever you are describing. The last sentence of the introduction is the most important sentence in your essay. And as you know, you are familiar with the term thesis statement. The thesis statement in a descriptive essay usually tells us why the description is important to the writer. Maybe the writer will tell you, I am describing this person because he is very dear to me. I am describing my father or my uncle or my mother because they are the most important person in my life. Or I am describing a pizza that I once ate because it was the most delicious pizza I ever ate. So this is the thesis statement. It tells you why the topic of description is important to the writer. Now, when we come to the body paragraphs, sometimes we have one body paragraph and sometimes we have two body paragraphs. It depends on the exam question. If the question is asking you to write a 3-paragraph essay, then you will have one introduction, one body paragraph, one conclusion. But if it is asking for a 4-paragraph essay, then it will be one introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and 1 conclusion. This part, the body part of the essay, provides most of the description, of course. And in order to make your description vivid and expressive, you need to use certain grammatical structures, for example, and grammatical items. For example, maybe you will use prepositions and prepositional phrases in order to indicate a certain location or position. Maybe you will say, the wedding party was set in the garden. So in the garden is a prepositional phrase. Or maybe you will say, my grandmother, the person you are describing, suppose you are describing your grandmother, you will say, my grandmother lives in a castle at the top of a mountain, for example. So in a castle at the top of a mountain would be a prepositional phrase to show the location. And also, you are always using adjectives and adverbs, lots of adjectives and adverbs in descriptive essays. Again, you can be using comparisons. Sometimes you are comparing two things in your descriptive essay. You are saying, for example, that when we went to our prom party, our graduation party, my sister and I were wearing 2 different styles. And then you would go on and describe, she was wearing such and such a thing, while I was wearing such and such a thing. Her clothes were classic and dark in color and so on. Mine were كذا. So comparisons are often used in descriptive essay if I am comparing 2 things together. Of course, it depends on the object of the description. If I am describing 2 things and I need to show the differences between them and the similarities between them, so I am comparing and contrasting them. Also, we can have similes. We can have similes when you say, somebody is as shy as a mouse, for example, or somebody is as quiet as a kitten, or someone is as beautiful as a flower, or something is as bright as the sun. Similes are often used when we are talking about descriptive essays, and usually they are used in the body paragraph of the essay. Now we come to the last part of the structure of our essay, which is the conclusion. You need to give a final opinion about whatever you were describing. And when you give your final opinion, usually you do this in the conclusion. Or sometimes you want to add one final commentary to all the previous things that you have already said. So the conclusion is very important. It wraps up your essay with a final commentary or an opinion or a remark that makes the reader feel like your essay is complete. We'll expect to have descriptions about the pizza of Cabimas. The best place to eat pizza in Cabimas is at Papa's, and then we will know that Papa's is the name of a restaurant and that this restaurant offers pizza and that the writer loves to eat the pizza at this place. And then you will notice so many details. We will read about pizza with shrimp and smoked oysters, pizza with pine nuts and garlic, pizza with sausages and pepperoni, And we will read about the size of the pizza. It is big. And how it smells. It smells of garlic, oil, and spices. And how it tastes delicious. And how there is sauce oozing out of it with cheese and tomato sauce and so on. So all these things are the details that I was telling you about. When you are writing a descriptive essay, in order to be successful in writing your essay and in giving your reader an exact description of the thing you are describing, you must get into minute details, like this paragraph. Now we go to the conclusion paragraph, and we read together. Now that I am in the United States, I am trying different kinds of pizzas. I have never seen so many different pizza restaurants. I want to try them one by one. So far, some of them are delicious, but I am convinced that the best pizza in the world is still at Papa's restaurant, a couple of blocks from the house where I grew up. So again, the conclusion is always, in a descriptive essay, is the final opinion of the writer. We know from the conclusion that this writer has moved from Venezuela to the US, and that now they are living in the US, the United States. And we know that there are many pizza restaurants in the United States, and that the writer is eating and enjoying the pizzas in America, in the US. But the final opinion is given to us that the writer still believes the pizza of Papa's restaurant at their own town, the town of Cabimas, is the best. Now I would like you to go to the next page, 35, and to try exercise number 5. In exercise number 5, you will be asked a number of questions. For example, number 1, what is surprising in the writer's hook? The word hook, as we said, is the topic sentence of a descriptive essay. If we are talking about description and we want to attract the reader, we want to hook the reader. Hook is like attract. So the sentence is made in a certain way in order to achieve this purpose. And we answered this question before. I want you to listen again to what I said about the topic sentence, and you will know the answer of the question. Then you have question 2, asking about what is the main idea of the introduction. If you read the introduction, is it A, B, C, or D? Number 3, how do the descriptive details help you understand what is special about Papa's pizza? Of course, you will mention the details about the size and the taste and the sauce and the things that are added. All these details are the ones that make you feel like you are seeing the pizza in front of you and smelling it and maybe even tasting it. Now, number 4 is about the conclusion. Does it end with a description or a restatement of the main idea of the introduction, or a story or an invitation? You are going to read and to see which of them. And remember that conclusions usually are a restatement of the idea that was mentioned in the thesis statement or in the introduction. Number B, in the same exercise, you are asked to examine the probable audience. The audience are the readers. If I am writing an essay, I have a certain audience in mind and I am writing to this audience. Maybe I am writing to my friends in a WhatsApp group, or maybe I am writing an article that is going to be published in a newspaper or a magazine. Maybe I am a blogger. I have my own blog and I write to have this published on the web, on the website or on the blog for my readers online to read it. So the audience is very important. Maybe I am writing this as an essay in an exam, and then my audience will be my doctor, and I will be very careful to follow all the rules that my doctor has been teaching me. And also, the question wants us to examine the probable audience and the purpose. What is the purpose of writing? Is the writer wanting to do this or that? And we are supposed to be choosing the purpose of the essay is, and you have ABC, and who might be the most interested in this essay, in other words, who is the audience, and again you have ABC. I am sure that if you go and read the essay several times, you are going to answer the questions correctly. Now, in addition to prepositional phrases in descriptive writing to show the location, as we have said, we can also use similes. And again, we have mentioned similes as when you want to show the resemblance between two things. She is as beautiful as a rose. This music is as clear as silver, things like that. So please go to page 40 and you have, in the middle of the page, you have a title, language and grammar focus, and then you have a box. And in this box, there are examples of similes. I'm going to read the examples. The first example, the sun was like a glowing ball of fire. So here we have a simile that shows the resemblance of the sun to a glowing ball of fire. A second example, I was young and easy and happy as the grass was green. Again, the poet here is making a comparison between his young self when things were easy and happy and between the green grass, because the green grass is young and gives an aura of happiness. A third example, my love is like a red, red rose. So again, this is a simile between love and red roses. Always in a simile, you have the word either like plus a noun or noun phrase, and sometimes you have as plus a noun or noun phrase, as you have in your notes. The examples in the notes, I'm reading them. The dog looked like a mop. The stars lined the night sky like a diamond necklace. And also you have two examples with as. He is as clever as a fox. And the girl's hair was as wet as noodles in a bowl of soap. Another skill that you need to know in order to write good descriptive essays is to be able to describe feelings. So you will go to page 44 in your notes and you will find the box in the second half of the page about describing feelings. Certain adjectives that end in an ed, in other words, past participles, can describe how people feel about something. For example, we can say the interested students listened to the story. Here we know that these students were interested. This is a description of their feeling while they were listening to the story. Or the confused tourists did not know where to go. So again, when we read this, we know that the tourists had a feeling of confusion because they were lost and they didn't know where to go. You also have adjectives that end in ing. But in this case, they will not describe the people themselves, they will describe the feeling. The students heard an interesting story. So the story was interesting to the students. Or the movie had a confusing plot. It means that the people who watched the movie felt confused. So try to make sure that you don't mix between these two types. The adjectives that describe feelings that end with an ed are describing how the people themselves feel. if someone is confused or someone is interested. So this is the feeling of the person. But if something is causing me to be interested or causing me to be confused, then this thing is interesting or confusing. Of course, all these adjectives and prepositional phrases and the different senses about taste and smell and so on, they help you to be able to write details, and details are of paramount importance when we are dealing with descriptive essays. Finally, let me tell you about your study source for this type of essay, the descriptive essay. You would need to refer to your handouts, especially pages from 33 to 49. You will need to read the rules, to read the essays given as examples, to answer the exercises, and to try to practice writing as much as possible. Thank you and good luck.